All right, guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Clean AF Power Couple podcast. It's been a long break in between our first episode. We were hoping to get to this a little bit quicker.
But we were waiting on something special.
We do have a microphone now. So we got the Blue Yeti, so hopefully this sounds way better. We weren't really waiting for this, honestly. It was just,
Pandemic time.
yeah, the time just wasn't lining up right.
But we're here at 7:15 a.m. with coffees in hand.
Coffee in hand. So if you're watching this on YouTube, cheers.
Take a little sip. I hope that microphone picked up your...
Yeah, if it's a good microphone, it will.
Is anybody else? I just thought of something funny. I saw this meme the other day, and it was of couples that are together. And then I got one of those Trey Kennedy videos, which I think he's really funny. Did I say his name right?
Yes.
Let's get his name confused with someone else. And he was talking about little annoying things you pick up on that your spouse does. And Dennis is just sipping his coffee.
Yeah, it's a lot of time together. So, all right, I'm not sure where we left off in the last one because I didn't listen to it recently, but we're just gonna go. We're gonna kind of stay on the topic of the pandemic. That's what everything's about right now, and there's just a lot of things shifting and changing and moving, and a lot of emotions going on right now. And I came across an interesting post, which I thought was interesting, and I had reposted it, and I got instant backlash on it, and I was quite surprised, honestly. So the post, you may have seen this before, is that if you don't come out of this quarantine with a new skill, your side hustle started, or more knowledge, you never lack time, you lack discipline. And I thought, yeah, our schedules at all have changed. A lot of us are at home way more than ever before. I mean, yeah, you are more busy, you might be homeschooling and all these extra things going on, but this is not a time to, curl up and quiver down and submit. This is a time to get stronger. And I like that. I thought the post was great. Like, it's discipline. Like, this is a time to reevaluate everything you're doing in life because everything's changed. Like, you're not doing your daily normal routine.
Right.
And this is a great time to just reevaluate and maybe start something new, learn something new. And I got backlash on it right away.
But wait, what was the opposite? He gave people, he's giving this outline, but he gave people an option, pick A or B. So that was A. So what was B?
Well, that was the initial post, and then I posted it, and someone instantly posted a second post right below. It said the same exact thing, but it crossed out, you never lack time or discipline, and it said, you are doing just fine. You are going through a collective traumatic experience. Not everyone has the privilege of turning a pandemic into something fun and productive.
And first off, let's not say a privilege, too. That's like saying someone has the privilege to have a business. It all has to do with your burning desire. It has nothing to do with anything that's given to you.
Right.
So I think where we were coming up is that obviously Dennis and I are sensitive, and we are not Mr. and Mrs. Perfect every day. Like, we have bad days, too. And definitely this is trying. I mean, you hear one thing on the news, and we're not big news watchers, but it can send you down a spiral. I mean, even going to the grocery store is uncomfortable as hell right now. Everyone's wearing masks and gloves, and there's a big shield between you and the cashier. I mean, it's weird as fuck.
Very weird as fuck. And then going back to that word privilege, like, saying someone is privileged is a cop-out, man. Like, no one's privileged. Everybody has something. And literally right now, everybody does have something. Like, everybody. Like, this pandemic isn't helping anybody. No one's privileged. Saying that someone's privileged and that's why they can do it and you can't, that's a cop-out, man. So that one really, it just struck a nerve with me that...
Dennis was on the internet arguing with people.
I was getting in online arguments.
Yeah. But he did it out of a place of joy to inspire others, not to go and poke buttons and poke the bear. But what we've been talking about at home a lot is, now I know a lot of people too would use the term privilege, and I'm using air quotes for those of you listening.
Watching.
No, listening. What people watching can see me. The listeners. No, I lost. Damn it. This is why we can't hang out all the time. I lose my train of thought. What was I even saying? Oh, okay. I got it now. So what we've been talking about is how businesses during this time, whether it's grocery stores, restaurants, some of these businesses are up and functioning and then other ones are not. So an example of one that I've kind of been experiencing myself, for any of you out there that have tried the Peloton app, I have invested in a bike. So a Schwinn, which I know for Peloton people, just close your ears for a second because that's like a poser bike. But I read reviews, a friend of mine had it, decided to buy it. But Schwinns are sold out everywhere. And normal places that would carry it would be like Dick's, that's closed. Best Buy of all places. And of course Amazon, right? Amazon is flourishing during this time. They're having no problem at all. But these stores like Dick's and Best Buy, you can't go walk in the store right now. So they've been being innovative. They've been doing curbside pickup for people. So literally one person will bring it out knowing you're coming and you'll pick it up. Or Best Buy has been doing the same. But if these companies were not selling online and they were selling products only in their store, they'd be gone.
Yeah.
Right? Or think about even like restaurants. Like we've been seeing a bunch of our friends too, like still helping out restaurants. And we're not big restaurant people, pandemic or not. But what have we been seeing like with restaurants? There's like a whole group on it.
Yeah, a lot of curbside pickup. Drinks to go, everything.
Yeah, like margaritas to go.
Yeah. And they're running specials, and they're trying to make it an experience to go pick up your food and bring it home.
Right. So what we've been kind of seeing like more and more of companies is either the companies who maybe were doing so-so are having customers. They're almost like flatlining during this time because they're not being innovative. But those companies that are coming up with margaritas to go that are sealed and okay to leave the restaurant without having obviously open alcohol in your car, they find ways to work around the law so that people can pick up stuff and bring it home. Or companies who, again, are doing that curbside pickup, like that Best Buy, that Dick's, to go pick up a bike. Otherwise, they'd be losing all of these sales. So it's almost like it's bringing out, the pandemic is bringing out the entrepreneurs in companies to try and find new ways of running. Otherwise, they'd be non-existent.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's the term I'm trying to think of right now? It's adapt or die, basically.
Right.
Like you have to.
Right. And when did, I'm just thinking back to even the, not depression, what do we call, what's the 2007?
The recession?
The recession. That was the same time that Uber came out.
Yeah.
Was around that time.
Starbucks blew up.
Starbucks. And wasn't that when Amazon really started rolling?
I'm not sure about that.
Well,
Maybe.
maybe don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's when. But it's almost like during these times of pressure, when people don't get to live inside of our little box, our little comfort zone, you have to think of new ways that you can help supply things to the people.
Yes. So out of these hard times like this, like you just mentioned, like the recession, now we're going through another whole like phase of basically kind of that same thing, like the stock market's crashing, all these different companies are trying to adapt and laying off people and whatever. At the end of this storm, the strong ones will prevail, right?
Yep.
Like and come out of it. And that goes for you too. You know, any person, obviously we're all going through hard times as well together. It's the strong ones that adapt will prevail and come out on the other end stronger. And there's no reason why you can't do that as well. Like there's no reason to, going back to what we were talking about when we first started, there's no reason to just submit to this and be like, well, it is what it is. I can't do anything. I'm just gonna, do what I have to do at home with work and homeschool, and I'm just gonna watch Netflix other than that because I have nothing else I can do. No, do it. This is the time to like that post said, like to learn a new skill, get more knowledge, start that side hustle if you hadn't. Something.
And it doesn't have to be, a lot of times people are like, well, you don't understand. I have this corporate job and I'm homeschooling my multiple kids. And no, I know that maybe people would see us as privileged now since we are working from home on just our one business. But just a few years ago, Dennis and I were balancing one business into the other. We had a whole company in our basement. We both were coaching CrossFit, teaching yoga, and up till 2 a.m. making soap. So we have been there. We definitely have been there. We have made the choices to be in the situation that we are now. But I think what Dennis's post that he still gave was, even if you are not coming up with this brand new business or having a new side hustle, maybe you're just like investing in you, finding new ways to do homeschooling with your kids that's outside the box, finding ways that you can provide more, I'm trying to like passion to your team via Zoom with your company. Like when people said I'm not learning anything or I'm not adapting to this, I'm just, sitting at home watching Tiger King nonstop. Everybody is learning something new. I think about a friend of mine who has a yoga studio, and man, she still has to pay rent on that, right? Like there's still bills that have to be paid. There's still a customer to be had. And what did she do? She learned Zoom, which good for her, being adaptive, has all of her classes online now, and that's what her customers are doing. And what's so cool about this is, even though ideally she'd love to have the vibe of the studio and everybody back in, these same customers, she may find a couple customers that like doing a live Zoom workout from home because maybe they can't get out of the house with kids. There are good things that could come out of this for each person, but it's a matter of that person making the choice to adapt and find something new and innovative.
Yeah, like you said, that like with your friend with the yoga studio, I mean, she very well could have just found a whole nother niche to her company, and maybe that Zoom yoga thing could stay on as like a package deal where, you could sign up for that, and that's a year-round option for you if you cannot make it to the yoga class like time slots. I mean, yeah, that's it's awesome. Like that's adapting. Mm-hmm. That's how you adapt and conquer this. And kind of going back to like what you said about like not everyone's gonna come out of this with like a whole side hustle and a brand new business. Like that's not what we're saying either. Like this is a great time to reflect on yourself too. So like a lot of people honestly sadly may have lost their jobs. They got laid off. The companies had to cut back because of all this stuff, and they lost their jobs. Like now is a great time to not to mope about losing your job and what you're gonna do. This is a time, like you said, invest in yourself.
Right.
This is a time to start reading those personal development books, start investing in yourself, start listening to podcasts like this that pump you up, and change that mindset and find out your true value and what you can bring to others. Mm-hmm. If that company that laid you off, like maybe that wasn't your place to be, it wasn't meant to be. And this is your chance now, like a restart, a refresh button to start over, reevaluate, and like we said, come out of this stronger than ever before.
Right. And in reality too, I mean, I think this is like a hard check for anybody, that if you are waiting for that paycheck every Friday, you are in a situation where you are working for someone else's dream, and maybe things shifted a bit during this time. And I know people are going to say, yeah, I don't have a degree, I don't have the skill set, but everybody, you don't have to have like a specific place to be in your life that you can't make your own business. And it doesn't have to be, again, that you're making this huge, like ridiculous business. Actually, here's a great example I just thought about. A friend of mine, back to yoga, who teaches at this yoga studio that's doing virtual teaching. Just the other day, she was, she's like, hey, I'm running tight on my funds for the month because she did kind of more server jobs and teaching yoga. She's going to school right now for her master's. And she just posted on Facebook saying, hey, I have my whatever. She has all these like cool degrees, like Reiki certificate, all these very like woo-woo things that she has. And she offered $5 to read people's horoscope. Like you send her your birthday, like the time you were born, all of your information, and then she put her heart into it, something she loves to do. That's something so different. Like who in the heck reads horoscopes for people these days? And she charged people $5, and tons of people commented on it. Talk about innovative. Like that wouldn't happen any other time, but she's like, oh shit, I need money for groceries this month.
Yeah.
Like that's just a tiny example.
Yeah, it's amazing what people do when their back is against the wall and you are out of your comfort zone. What can come out of it. Like that's the time where people come up with these amazing ideas and do the very innovative stuff. Like otherwise, if you are comfortable all the time, you just don't think of those things. You're comfortable. You have a routine. You go to your job. You clock in. You clock out. And like it's all set and mundane. Like it's comfortable. It works. But only when things get uncomfortable that your gears start turning, and you got to think of a new way. And that's where innovative stuff happens. That's where growth happens. That's where your mind shift changes. And that's what this whole, in my mind, pandemic can be leveraged as. Getting out of that comfort zone and finding more. Everyone's in a comfort zone right now. This is a great time to leverage that, become better, learn, grow, not curl up and watch
Enjoy ball.
Netflix.
Yeah, and watch Tiger King that we haven't watched. I'm like sticking my foot into the ground that we won't watch it because now it would just
now
be,
that we said this, we can't watch it.
no, we can't. We'd just be like a sucker, like everybody else. I think what I'm like losing my train of thoughts today. Clearly, what was I gonna talk about?
I don't know, but I think that was kind of the point we want to hit, though.
I think so.
I don't want to just keep beating a dead horse in this one, so I think it's a good spot to kind of wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Especially since you lost your train of thought.
I know.
Maybe the early morning podcasts aren't the best idea.
Well, I think it may have had to do with some things I ate yesterday.
You're supposed to be eating clean, not
quarantine.
Yeah, it's quarantine
time.
snacks. All right, guys, I think that's it. So I guess let's go. Let's get out of our comfort zone. Let's use this as leverage. Let's get stronger. Let's not submit to this. All right, let's become better every day.
1% better every day.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
See you guys.